Whether you bond over streaming binge-worthy videos, watching sports recaps, video gaming, or by unplugging altogether, the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid helps keep you connected throughout your journey. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Available connectivity features and functionality vary by model. Package pricing, trials, and term lengths vary by model. Video streaming and games are only available while parked.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And a good Sunday evening, everyone. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us live over the course of the next 2 hours, 800-848-9222. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. My heart and soul right now is on Staten Island. Horrible, horrible car accident. 6-year-old girl and a 90-year-old man killed in a horrific car crash. This happened Friday morning. I'm going to circle back to this with details. But, folks, it just reinforces what I say all the time. You know, try and enjoy life. Try and understand that tomorrow is never guaranteed to any of us. Any of us could have been in one of those two vehicles, Staten Island, on Friday morning. And if you look at my Twitter at my ex, it's at the top of my page. The family of the 6-year-old girl has a GoFundMe page for funeral costs. They're trying to raise about $24,000, and I believe they're at $21,000. 6-year-old girl dead, and a 90-year-old man killed in horrific car crash, Staten Island. So I woke up overnight, Friday into Saturday morning, and I was never more proud of our president, Donald Trump. Maduro arrived here in New York after the military operation in Venezuela, and it really is this simple. Would you rather have a president that talks a good game and gets nothing done, feared by no one on the world stage, Biden, or would you rather have a president that reinforces America as a superpower, is feared on the world stage, and has put these international drug lords on notice that at any moment the Army's Delta Force or other military branch can swoop down on you, snatch you up, and carry out your worst nightmare, being brought to America for trial? Which president would you rather have? Democrats are screaming bloody murder over what happened over the weekend in Venezuela. What else would you expect for them to say? They have no message. They have no leadership. All they do is the party of no. 800-848-9222. President Trump declaring at his news conference over the weekend that the U.S. will run Venezuela temporarily during the transition and, quote, get the oil flowing. I don't see anything wrong with that. This was a victory for the United States. For years, folks, the war on drugs has been fought at home, which doesn't make complete sense to me. You take the battle to them. So it's been a war at home, primarily with slogans aimed at changing the behavior of American citizens. Well, President Trump said, I don't think so. First, he started bombing those narco-terrorists, the vehicles, and the cartels, the kingpins, they're now on notice. We're going to come back to that as well. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you on this Sunday night. Mom Donnie, now that he's mayor, is this his way of making NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch quit? He is stripping her of her dignity. Mom Donnie has removed the police commissioner, her direct line to his office. She will now communicate with the deputy mayor. This is from Mom Donnie. He's been in office, 3 days, 4 days? And we all know that he promised to make bus transportation free. Well, the MTA's latest rate hike went into effect today, and it goes from $2.90 to $3, right? Now, in fairness to Mom Donnie, this was approved by the MTA in September of last year before he took office. But now I want you to check out the double talk, and you'll hear it yourself. He's now declaring that buses will be free before he leaves office. So in other words, 4 years from now. I told you, you folks went for the okie doke, you went for the con. He can't deliver on anything. And so now, free bus service. Well, it'll happen before I leave office. But that's not all from our new mayor. His newly appointed tenant advocate director, she thinks that home ownership and private property is white supremacy. Yeah, you don't have to fix your radio. You don't have to fix your computer. You don't have to fix the dial in your car. Mom Donnie's newly appointed tenant advocate director, she thinks that home ownership and private property is white supremacy. So, folks, I don't get it. I don't get it, but I tried my best to warn you of what was about to happen with Mom Donnie. And now here we are. The okie doke is right in front of us. This is what President Trump, let's go back to Venezuela, what he had to say at his news conference Saturday.
It was slightly busy, I would say. It was very dark all over, especially in Venezuela. The team did an incredible job. They rehearsed and practiced like nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that could do such a maneuver. If you would have seen what happened, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen the speed, the violence, they say that, the speed, the violence, they use that term. It was an amazing thing, an amazing job that these people did. There's nobody else could have done anything like it.
And so the president, talking to Fox News, he also had his news conference. I want you folks to listen to Secretary of State Marco Rubio making this excellent point. The Biden administration had a $25 million reward, ransom, on Maduro's head, on his capture. And the Trump administration, right, got the job done. Listen to the Secretary of State.
This was, in essence, at its core, a law enforcement function. Okay, the Department of Justice, dating back in the Biden administration, that had a $25 million reward for his capture. So we have a reward for his capture, but we're not going to enforce it. That's the difference between President Trump and everybody else. It's easy to make a wanted poster and say $50 million for the capture of Maduro, but no one takes that seriously because you're not going to do anything about it. President Trump did something about it.
Let me ask you.
He did something about it. We went in, we grabbed him, he was arrested, and he's now in New York. No Americans were killed, no equipment was lost. It had to be done, and it's been done. And I assure you, the people left behind in Venezuela now that are in charge of the police and everything else, I assure you, they're going to probably be a lot more compliant than Maduro was as a result of this.
So in other words, just the opposite of Afghanistan, where millions of dollars of equipment was left there, and 13 American soldiers lost their lives. Not one lost their lives in Venezuela. And the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, destroying the argument, because, you know, Democrats are screaming bloody murder. Oh, it's an act of war. They want to say act of war because it requires congressional approval if it's an act of war. Secretary of State, not Secretary of State, the War Secretary, Pete Hegseth.
Well, I referred also to the Iranians and their nuclear capabilities. The president said they will never get a nuclear bomb. The Iranians didn't believe it. He acted. He said the same thing about Maduro. He acted. He said the same thing with the Houthis. He acted. Southern border acted. We're going to do something about drugs. He's acting. We're acting with striking drug boats. This is a president of action. And you don't get peace in this dangerous world without strength. So there's been a lot of politicians that want to talk. They want to talk peace. They want to talk diplomacy. They want to talk negotiations. They want to talk globalism or international organizations. President Trump speaks through action. And so our allies understand that, and they're stepping up, spending more. Our adversaries understand that. So all around the world should take notice. American leadership is back. When he says something matters, it does. And we will take the necessary action with the full weight of the Department of War.
And I would rather have any day a president of action who is not going to be taken as a joke, who is a leader on the world stage. Period. Full stop. The congressional war is already underway. Democrats screaming bloody murder. We'll let you hear Ilhan Omar in a second. We see all your telephone calls. We're about to begin with them. But I want you to listen to this. Congresswoman Maria Salazar declaring, and rightfully so, that the Trump administration did the right thing.
The message has been very clear. President Trump kept his word. President Trump had the internal fortitude, had the political pants to do what no other president, Republican and Democrat, for the last 25 years that you have been serving in Congress and I have been a member of the news media, no one had that resolution of liberating the hemisphere from thugs like this Maduro, who only harmed his people and our people through drugs, through terrorist attacks, through gang members, specifically Tren de Aragua.
And I haven't even brought up the gang aspect, that Maduro sent all of these killer gang members here. You think that's going to just walk? President Trump said absolutely not. You're going to pay dearly for that. I was never prouder of my president than I was overnight, Friday night into Saturday, Saturday afternoon into present. Ilhan Omar blaming the United States for the problems in Venezuela, not Maduro.
A lot of the policies that we have put in place has kind of helped lead the devastation in Venezuela. And we've sort of set the stage for where we are arriving today. This particular bullying and the use of sanctions to eventually intervene and make regime change really does not help the people of countries like Venezuela, and it certainly does not help, and it's not in the interest of the United States.
It's almost laughable. Talking about laughing, Mom Donnie. Normally by now I would have started with your telephone calls, but I've got to get to Mom Donnie. I'll get to Staten Island, the bad car accident, in a few minutes. But Mom Donnie, who does this guy think he is? He's been the mayor for, 72 hours? And so Saturday goes down, Friday into Saturday, the Trump administration doing the right thing, no military hurt, no equipment left. And you've got Maduro in jail here in New York. He's going to be in court, he and his wife, at noon. 13 hours from now, he'll be in the Southern District of New York. He's at the federal facility in Brooklyn right now. But who does Mom Donnie think that he is? According to Mom Donnie, he called the president to express his opposition.
I called the president and spoke with him directly to register my opposition to this act and to make clear that it was an opposition based on being opposed to a pursuit of regime change, to the violation of federal and international law, and a desire to see that be consistent each and every day.
Who does this guy think he is? And now, I told you he didn't want Jessica Tisch as police commissioner. That was all a front just to get him elected, to give him some moderate credentials, if you will, in the middle of that debate when he announced that he would keep her on board. What are you talking about, Dominic? Now, she's not going to have a direct line to the mayor at City Hall. She, Jessica Tisch, is going to report to a deputy mayor, which is a major slap in the face. The police commissioner is 1,000,000 times more important than the first deputy mayor. The police commissioner, frankly, is more important than the mayor is. But oh no, he didn't tell you this during the campaign. All of a sudden, she's going to report now to the first deputy mayor, not have the open line of communication with the mayor. And of course, reporters asked Mayor King about this.
I wanted to get your response to reporting from Ken Klippenstein, who said that in your second executive order, your restructuring of your office indicated that you were not going to meet with Commissioner Tisch every day and said she was going to report to a deputy mayor, and that sort of suggested that you had downgraded her. Can you speak to that restructuring at all and lend some clarity there?
I am in constant communication with Commissioner Tisch, whether it be today or any other day. And the commissioner within the structure of our city hall will be reporting to our first deputy mayor, Dean Fullahan. That, however, does not preclude conversations from taking place with me. And at the heart of that is because of the fact that public safety is the cornerstone of our affordability agenda. And today is also an announcement of that public safety and delivering it to you.
So was that a downgrade, yes or no?
That was just a reflection of the structure of City Hall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. On the
Incredible. This guy is taking New York City immediately over the cliff. Mayor King. Yes, sire, Mayor King. That's who this guy thinks he is. He's been in office 72 hours. New York City, over the cliff. Under Mom Donnie. But you folks, you let the opposition vote be split, and now we're stuck with this guy for at least 4 years. Let's begin with your telephone calls. I've got to brief you on the Staten Island car accident. 6-year-old girl, just Friday, dead. 90-year-old man, dead. We'll get to all of that in just a moment. Let's begin with John, line 2, New Jersey. John, good evening. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hi, good evening. I woke up and I heard the news. I was amazed much more than the Iranian bombing. This was like put President Trump on a pedestal when I heard he did that to Maduro. And I was just thinking, Maduro I have someone in my family that, overdosed and died from fentanyl. I was thinking that, yeah, thank you. But I was thinking that he's not even the main guy. It's China that's sending the raw material to make the fentanyl and then to the cartels in Mexico. We got to get those guys, more importantly.
Well, I hear you, John, but the process has to start somewhere, right? Correct?
Yeah, 100%. So
if Maduro has been sending all these killer Tren de Aragua gang members here, we saw what these guys did. As the president cited, and we'll listen to what he has to say at the midnight hour, what he did to that girl, Jocelyn Nungare, what they did to that girl in Houston, Texas, where they found her body by the creek, basically naked from the waist down. We can go on and on and on what these Tren de Aragua gang members have done from that housing complex in Colorado. So why should Maduro get to send all of his killers here under the disguise of their migrants, and then we're stuck dealing with the problem? And even when you lock them up, we're still stuck with it because you have a lifetime of taking care of them. So the process must start somewhere. Thank you so much, John. for the great telephone call. Let's go to line 3, Darlene, New Jersey. Darlene, what's on your mind?
Hi, Mr. Carter. I'm so glad to hear your voice. I've been trying to find you all over because I talked to you once or twice, but I never really listened to the radio. I was always a TV person, but I can't stand it. I can't stand watching the killing and that, and I love your show. I love it.
Thank you.
So
That's very
I'm
nice of
here.
you to say. Darlene, how are you doing?
Well, the heart is pretty good. He keeps me going. They give me medicine and whatever I got to do. I'm a good patient. But like I said, I'm just trying to fight, like Donald Trump says, and so I can stick around and maybe, because I used to be a phone girl in that, and I say if everything goes bad with the electric, I know all the switchboards.
Wow.
I could just go down to
wonderful.
Washington, D.C. and plug them in.
Hey, young lady.
If we use any communication, so I feel I have a mission here. He's keeping me around,
Young lady,
So,
they say never ask a woman her age, but I hope you don't mind me asking. How old are you, Darlene?
I'm 74, and I pray to
Wow.
God every night. All I would like is to make my 75th birthday just to know I made it.
Oh, you're going to make that, Darlene. You're going to, obviously, I'm
But
not God,
otherwise,
but you're going to make that. Do
I'm
you
just
hear the
so happy
strength in
I
your
found
voice?
you
You're going to
because,
make it.
Like I said, you are the man. You are the
Oh,
man on
thank
the
you.
radio as far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
thank you.
And
That's-
I
that's
listen to
very
you,
nice.
and I try to be best I can listening to your advice and whatever. And I'll tell you, one thing we got to do in America, we got to get it back to Americanization. That's the word, Americanization. And everybody,
I agree with
the
you.
kids don't, we got to get the teachers. I'm not saying anything against teachers, but there are some of them that are real doozies that put us in this position because they want money, and they're not teaching our kids. They don't know how to read or write or that. They don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Ignorance is bliss. But when you got to know what's going on in the world, you can't be like an ostrich with the head in the sand. That's
Well,
why everybody's
you're
ahead of
correct.
us.
You're correct, Darlene. I want to thank you for the wonderful call. You just made my night. Thank you for doing so. And you take care of yourself. And the only thing I can say in response to what you just said, Darlene, is to those whom much is given, much is required. And that's how I live my life. I feel that I've been given a tremendous amount, but if you've been given a lot, much is required that you give a lot. And so that's what I try and bring to these radio shows each and every time that the Katzman-Teddy's family has put faith in me to do these shows. That's what I try and give you folks. So I see we have Michael in New Jersey, Bob in Yonkers, Steve in Florida, Norman in Brooklyn. We're going to take a break. The number to reach me live, 800-848-9222. When we come back, we're going to Michael in New Jersey. Stay with us.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. I'm going to get to the Staten Island horrific car crash in just a second. So the king of New York, King Mamdani, sire, says that he called President Trump. We'll see how long that lasts. Remember, King Sire, that's what got Marjorie Taylor Greene in trouble with President Trump. She used this telephone number one time too many. Remember that, King Mamdani? I understand you're the king now, but understand it's going to get you in trouble. So the king says he called President Trump to express his displeasure. I am so glad that at least one of the reporters gave it to him. So, okay, King Mamdani, you called President Trump to express your displeasure over what happened in Venezuela. But King Mayor, what are you going to do about it? Listen to his response. Absolutely nothing.
Happy New Year.
I got two quick questions.
Okay.
So the first one is about Maduro. You said you called the invasion and the arrest. If I could just pull up real quick. You said it was a violation of federal and international law. Do you plan to use any of the city's resources to interfere with the prosecution or anything like that?
This is a federal action on a federal timeline, and I owe it to New Yorkers to deliver for them across the 5 boroughs and also to be honest and straightforward about my own thoughts on this.
And the second thing...
Notice, when he was called on it, this is a federal action. He wants to brag. The king wants to brag that he called the president. We'll see how long that lasts. And then when he's pressed on, okay, what you going to do about it? Mom Donnie, well, this is a federal action. Line 1, Michael in New Jersey. Michael, what's on your mind? Michael, going once, going twice. Okay, Michael, you missed your slot. That's it for tonight. Let's go to line 3, Melissa, Long Island. Melissa, what's on your mind?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for taking my phone call. Happy New Year, by the way.
Same to you, Melissa.
I just wanted to reach out to your fellow caller, Darlene, and saying how wonderful it was that she was part of a switchboard. And now I'm speaking to you on a cell phone.
Wow, okay. Darlene had it going on, right?
I know. I love her. She totally stole my heart. I'm a big fan of you, and now I'm a big fan of Darlene, and that's all I was only calling in for. Happy New Year, and take care of you and yourself.
Same to you.
And keep America great, right?
And that's what we're trying to do. That's what, and President Trump reinforced that over the weekend. Thank you so much for the telephone call. So when President Trump did what he did to Maduro, what I want you folks to keep in mind, right? And I'm just going to say it out straight. These 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls in Vermont, states like that are forced to turn to prostitution, to take that have never done anything bad in their lives. They just met some bad guy, or what's the trend that's going on lately is they met some bad guy from New York City that turns them out. Next thing you know, they're out on the street tricking. So when President Trump does what he did over the weekend, consider that as well. Consider that as well. 6-year-old girl, 90-year-old passenger killed in a horrific Staten Island car crash just Friday. The 6-year-old girl is described as joyful and deeply loved, and also a 90-year-old man were killed in that horrific crash Friday morning, according to authorities. The other driver, a 50-year-old man, was driving an Audi Q5 traveling eastbound on Rockland Avenue just before 10 a.m. when he attempted to turn left on the Forest Hills Road, and they collided with a Honda HR-V driven by a 70-year-old woman. The girl was in the car with the 70-year-old woman as well as the 90-year-old man. And so, of course, emergency responders came to the scene. The photos are horrible. And the little girl didn't make it. The little girl didn't make it. The 90-year-old man didn't make it. And, little girls described as tender, playful, and that she carried a light big enough to warm every heart. That's according to a GoFundMe page for her funeral expenses. So right before the program tonight, I was a little down because I was reading this GoFundMe for this 6-year-old girl. And I put it on my Twitter, on my X. You can see it there. If it's not the first item, then just scroll down and you'll see it. 6 years old, and she's gone. And, I don't know about you folks, but I know driving down to go to my tailor's, one day I hit a pothole. And in hitting that pothole, it did $2,500 worth of damage to my car. but also the hole was so deep into the ground that it set off the airbag in my car. Folks, I don't know if you've ever experienced an airbag, but they save lives, but it is not a pleasant experience. I felt like Mike Tyson had punched me in the face, and I was disoriented for a few seconds. And then the bag is hanging all over the car, and you got to find a way to get it fixed, put it back inside, and so on. And so I sat there tonight looking at the photos. It looked like they were airbags from the side of the vehicle. I didn't know if they're airbags on the side of the vehicle. We've got a new guy that's starting tonight on the board, and he looks familiar to a guy by the name of Matt Blaze. Would your name be Matt Blaze?
Who's that? Never heard of that guy.
Well, who's on first?
Get rid of him.
What's on second? And what was the next line?
I don't know who's on third.
I don't know who's on third. What's up, vacation guy?
It goes by so fast, Dominic. We are in a new year. Can you believe it's 2026?
It's hard to believe.
It absolutely is.
So, Matt Blaze, maybe you can help me. Do they have side airbags?
Yeah, there's airbags all over the car now. You have the steering wheel. You have where the glove box is, the glove compartment. There's an airbag there for the passenger.
Oh, wow.
Then you have airbags. I know in my car there's an airbag. If you look at like the windshield, on the left to the windshield, there's that little panel. There's an airbag in there. There's an airbag in the back of the car, for the back passengers on the sides. So there's airbags all around the car now. And I have had an airbag go off when I was driving.
Feel like Mike Tyson punched you in the face as well?
Yeah. Oh my God. First of all, luckily I had my hands like at 10 and 2, like you're supposed to be driving, right?
So it muted the impact a little bit.
Well, it hit my arms, and I had like almost like rug burns on the inside of my forearms, and it hit you in the face. And you're right, you're sort of disoriented at first. But I've heard of airbags like it breaks people's wrists because it pops out so fast. I mean, you got to remember once that impact and the airbag pops out so fast, it hurts.
It hurts. It absolutely hurts. And so, Matt, I'll be chatting with you next hour. Welcome back. We missed you, and we're glad you're home and all that good stuff. Have you talked to Tony? He texted me about his mother's funeral in Houston.
Yeah, I did speak with Tony. He's doing well, and I believe he'll be in tomorrow. So
wonderful news to hear that. Matt Blaze will be chatting with you next hour. So, you know, folks, maybe I shouldn't have looked at those photos right before air tonight of the Staten Island crash Friday morning. 6-year-old girl dead, 90-year-old man dead. It just left me in a sour mood. You know, how cruel life can be sometimes. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Steve in Brooklyn. No, Steve in Florida on line 4. Steve, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Thank you for taking my call. You know, we have a president, Donald Trump, who you and I agree on. I don't agree with everything with you, but I agree with a lot of things with you. And nobody agrees on everything.
Right.
He is the most genius, magnificent president anybody can think of.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to say some outrageous things here. I think some people may agree with me. What is a terrorist? You know, terrorists are people that hurt people. And a lot of times they're doing it for political reasons, too. Now, we have a Oman, whatever her name is. Right, we have a Mondami in New York. And, you know, I got to start saying there are no more Democrats. They're all socialist Democrats. And I want to add communists to them. And I think we need to exile some of these people. They need to be banned from the United States. May sound crazy, but that's what I believe.
Whoa. Why does that sound crazy?
Well,
doesn't sound crazy to me at all.
Thank you. Okay, we agree there. Okay, what I'm saying is the fraud, waste, and abuse in Minnesota, the Biden administration, so many people killed, you know, Afghanistan, you know, the border, and you just go on and on and on. so many Americans, and it's wonderful. I read something about, people, 20% people aren't dying. The homicides are down 20%. I've been reading so many good things, and there's one thing I'm not disappointed. I know our president is a genius. Maybe he was trying to do it, and maybe he has a plan for January 6th. I hate this January 6th coming up because it's going to be lies and lies and lies on January 6th. I'm hoping there's some kind of news, Trump does something on January 6th that's going to get the old January 6th lies off the calendars.
Well, I hate to be the one to tell you this, Steve. There is nothing the president can do to get January 6th off the calendar and away from the media.
Because he could free Cuba on January 6th. That's what I'm hoping.
No, that's the media's day to bash him nonstop, and they're looking forward to it, and they're going to do it no matter what. No matter what. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm with you, Steve. We've got to start banning some of these folks from coming to the country. And one of the things that I really like that the president did this weekend, right, with the arrest of Maduro, he said, no. I'm not playing around. Put the wife in cuffs as well. Normally, they give the wives a pass, and they'll leave the wives at the palace or so on. Our president said, you think this is a joke? Killing Americans with drugs, sending your worst gang members as migrants to America so they kill and rape and mutilate American women? No. Put his wife in cuffs. She's part of the indictment.
I have
She's
one more thing to say about her. About her.
Go ahead.
Do you know her nickname?
I don't, and I don't care what her nickname is. But
no, it's important. It's very important because Hillary and Jill had the same nickname, Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth were in charge of their husbands. They want the control. They do all the stuff. They are evil.
Well, Lady Macbeth can do the jail time with her hubby. Thank you for the call, Steve. Let's go to Norman, line 5 in Brooklyn. Norman, what's on your mind?
Very quickly, yes. Now that Trump was successful with Maduro in Venezuela, I'd like to see him do the same thing here in New York City for Donnie. But anyway, I am, I live in a black neighborhood. I grew up here. It wasn't initially a black neighborhood. It is now Caribbean, and basically they're all homeowners. So you had mentioned somebody, I believe, in the Mamdani administration said that the owning of homes is white supremacy. Are all my neighbors
Norman,
who are homeowners here and enjoying the American?
Hold on a second. His newly appointed tenant advocate director says that home ownership and private property is white supremacy. Go right ahead.
Okay. So are you a white supremacist, Dominic?
I guess so. I mean.
Yeah, I know.
So Norman, before I move on to the next call, how does this play out? This guy is a disaster. I mean, and he's only been in office, since Thursday? He is an absolute disaster. Attacks, trying to do away with laws against anti-Semitism. This tenant advocate. The police commissioner won't have direct access to the mayor anymore. I mean, I could go on and on and on. The dude, Kahil Mahood, whatever, the Columbia University student that the feds had locked up for a while, he was at Mamdani's inauguration, right? Talking about Islamophobic behavior, and he was, you couldn't get into that section unless you're invited. So Mamdani invited this guy.
Right.
Why would you do that?
He will have zero accessibility. This is the way the Marxists work. He used them. He got into power, and now he will ignore them. This is the way Marxists work. They're going to basically you're not going to be able at all to get close to this guy. All his money is going to go for security details, and that's it. Just keeping the people away.
Unbelievable. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call, Norman. Let's go to Charlie, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, line 3. Charlie, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the same issue that Norman just brought up. The tenant director that the new mayor just appointed, when she said that home ownership is white supremacy. I would remind people of something Dr. King said, a quote that he said it was very important, and he said black supremacy is just as dangerous as white supremacy. And it appears that's what's going on here with the new mayor and his 10 appointments are. And I was wondering what you thought of that, because I think that the concept of trying to attach white supremacy to home ownership is complete nonsense. I think he's just trying to divide the races in New York City against each other, and I was wondering what you thought of that.
Well, obviously that's what she's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. The King Mayor. I've got to take a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Live, CBS January 11th. Hollywood's biggest party is now bigger than ever.
Perfect. No notes.
The Golden Globes, with more stars, more glamour, more chaos, and more host Nikki Glazer.
We're gonna laugh at the celebrities that can take it and completely ignore the ones who can't. I'm just kidding. They're not safe either.
The Golden Globes, live CBS Sunday, January 11th, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. So birthday girl Catherine Trunk says, as it relates to Matt Blaze, looking forward to New Year's music, disco, etc. So we'll see what Matt comes up with the next hour. Catherine, he'll be chatting with us next hour as well. And let's go to Thomas, line 5, New Haven, Connecticut. Thomas, what's on your mind?
Oh, I love your show. I can talk forever. I got a bunch of things I'd like to talk about, so I'll talk really quick. You're talking about airbags. I'm a chemist. So there's a chemical called an aeroside, and they put them in mortar shells. So when the hammer hits it, you get an instant explosion. Same thing has to happen with an airbag. You got an aeroside in there, so when the car gets hit, you've got to have an instant explosion in order, for the airbag to work. I know they are dangerous. And the second thing I'd like to talk about, I was watching Schumer today on ABC. He kept looking down when he was being interviewed, and he didn't have any papers in his hands. I'm wondering if WABC, the TV, that show with Stephanopoulos, I'm wondering if they had those screens that people read off of. It was really strange.
No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, Thomas. You're referring to a teleprompter, but it wouldn't be down.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be down. Sometimes politicians do that out of habit. Sometimes they do that. Yeah, sometimes they do that simply because they do, But there's no. Do you know the trouble ABC would be in if there were notes or a teleprompter? No, it wasn't. That wasn't it. He was doing it for emphasis effect.
Thanks for the
emphasis.
Info. And another thing I'd like to comment on real quick. I'm just putting a lecture together right now. You know how many deaths there are a year in the U.S. from drugs, illegal drugs, opioids? I mean, there's 100,000 deaths from opioids. There's 30,000 deaths from cocaine. There should be an outrage. And what President Trump is doing is trying to stop that from happening. 130,000 deaths a year from drugs, from illegal drugs. There should be outrage in this country. And thank God that President Trump is doing something. This war on drugs that started in the 70s doesn't work.
Agreed. Thank you for the call, Thomas.
Thank
Maduro,
you.
I'm sure Maduro was in shock when the Delta Force from the Army came to pick him up. And they said, no. We're not just here for you. The wife is coming as well. Your wife is coming, and she's facing the same charges that you are facing. Good luck with that, Maduro. Let's go to Joe, line 4, New Jersey. Joe, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Dominic, Trump did a phenomenal job in 1 year. And if we don't get another guy like him after he gets out, I think we're cooked, because all these criminals and people that came in here and all the crap that came in here from the Biden administration, how are you going to clean it up? It's going to take a long time.
Well, you're right about that, Joe. And I don't know, the Democrat Party. I don't get it. I don't see how they win. I don't see, everything. When I talk to critics of the president, it's always, I don't like the way that he does things. Why does he have to have that personality? Well, you have to have a bull in a china shop if you want to get anything done. You've got to find a way to break the status quo. And that's what I believe that me and every other American voted for this president for. This is why he won every single battleground state, because we expect a bull and a china shop. Stop playing games. Get the job done. Joe, thank you for the great call. Line 2, Bob in Yonkers. Hi, Bob.
Hi. Dominic, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Dominic, you're absolutely right. This mayor we have is a fraud. He's a phony, and he's going to drag the city down. People better wake up and start sending letters and phone calls to that hercule governor saying you better pull him out of his office, because this is a disgrace.
You got a better chance of winning Lotto for $800 billion than you do of Governor Hochul doing anything against my.
Well, then she's going to go down too, and rightfully so.
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going. The election. I believe that Bruce Blakeman is an outstanding candidate.
I agree.
You sleep on him at your own peril. But we'll see what happens. Thank you for the call, Bob. Sandra, New Jersey, line 1.
Good morning. Oh, no, good evening still. Good evening, Dominic. Dominic, I was just as outraged as you when I learned that man Donnie called the president. Who the hell does he think he is? I was really shocked. He's brand new, never governed yet. And calling the president and insulting him and being arrogant to him.
Well, that's Mom Donnie. That's Mom Donnie's version. We weren't on the call. We don't know what was said. That's what he says.
Oh, he said he was arrogant?
No. What I'm saying, Sandra, is the interpretation that you're getting on the call is from Mom Donnie. Yeah. It's not from Trump or the White House. We don't know what was actually said on that call.
Well, you know what? I think he should cool. He should calm down a little bit, and not be so big and just. I you know what I'm trying to say. It's like he's going to collide with this Trump, and he's going to spoil it for himself, because soon Donald Trump is not going to like him anymore. He probably doesn't anyway, but it's going to really. This is it. This call today, I think, burned a bridge.
Well, I think the call was made the other day, and I think that King Mom Donnie is going to go the route of Marjorie Taylor Greene. That was the beginning of her downfall, that she started calling the president too much, and the president didn't take the call. So Mom Donnie may be, listen, Trump is no joke, and Mom Donnie's going to find out the hard way. Sandra, thank you for the great call. Quickly, Joaquin, Pennsylvania. Go right ahead.
Dominic, my man, I want to wish you a happy New Year to you and your family, and to Matt Blaze and everyone there. You know something? I'm going to say something. Actually, President Trump played this very well, 3D chess, all right? So check this out. After Madam Donnie's been inaugurated, and put into office as New York City mayor, what does President Trump do? He takes out Maduro, arrests him, and then parades him past Madam Donnie and everyone in New York City, to show that this can happen to you, because let's just
no. That wasn't a strategy. He was indicted by the Southern District. You got to bring him back to the court that indicted him.
Right, but it still makes a very strong statement to tell you that it was done and where it was done. And, so President Trump, he took good advantage of this, because let's face it, Madam Donnie is a spearhead and he even comes out and says that anti-American. He's pro, global community, international
right,
community.
I hear you, Joaquin. Thank you for the call. We're coming back with hour number 2. Stay with us.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Whether it's a movie night or just midday, Skinny Pop is a salty snack that keeps on giving. Made with just 3 simple ingredients for an irresistibly delicious taste and a large serving size that lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop. Popular for a reason. Shop Skinny Pop now.
Arizona awakens your senses. Here, a grand wonder of the world is just one shade of your adventure. Dazzling sunsets at iconic stays turn to brilliant nights under a kaleidoscope of stars. Explore endless peaks, rivers, and canyons painted in every hue. Center your spirit. Find your inspiration. Surround yourself in vivid color. Only in vibrant Arizona.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And good morning, Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us this hour, 800-848-9222. Our president, President Trump, proved why he won the election. The latest illustration was over this weekend. The arrest of Maduro of Venezuela. Now, Maduro was not only the head of a narco state, he was also an ally of America's nastiest enemies. And President Trump making clear this man is a tremendous leader, President Trump, and it's one of the reasons why I voted for him. President Trump, at his news conference on Saturday, issuing this warning, for example, to the president of Colombia.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your message is about that.
Well, he has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
The president of the United States. That's exactly what I voted for. I'm sorry. I don't respect weak leadership like Biden. I don't respect it. It made us the laughingstock of the world. President Trump putting all these narco-terrorists on notice and these presidents that are doing wink, wink and looking the other way and making billions of dollars off of poisoning and killing Americans. 800 with drugs. 800-848-9222. Secretary of State Marco Rubio also at the news conference declaring, don't play games with this president.
And but I think that the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Don't play games with this president. 800-848-9222. In a moment, we're going to start with your live calls. Judith in Brooklyn in a moment. But first, the president explaining his rationale. And this is another point where he sold me. When the president said at his news conference Saturday afternoon from Mar-a-Lago that Maduro sent these Tren de Aragua gang members here that have raped, tortured, murdered Americans, and the president declaring that enough is enough.
But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children. They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Tren de Aragua, and they were sent by Maduro to terrorize our people, and now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will no longer be threats. For years I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed by this Venezuelan terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst, they say the worst. Americans like 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn Nungary, what happened to her? They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn and left her dead under the bridge. There was a bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives.
And who can disagree with that? Notice the Democrats that are yelling and screaming that this was a declaration of war against Venezuela so that they can say it required congressional approval. That's really what they're trying to tie the president up. Notice they're not saying anything at all about that young girl that was murdered in Houston, Texas. And how noble and considerate of the president. Her mother went on to endorse the president and to speak at the RNC on his behalf. And 2-3 years later, the president is still referencing this young lady. They found her near a creek. 2 men had kidnapped her and apparently sexually assaulted her. She was found with no clothes on from the waist down. A little girl. I think she was, 14, 15, 16 years old? Line 1, we see all your calls. Judith in Brooklyn. Good morning, Judith. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. First of all, I think she was 12 years old, by the way. 12, all of 12, a little girl. I'm so happy. I'm really happy. I'm happy for the Venezuelan people. Finally, they're going to get back to themselves and not have to run around and look for cats and dogs to eat. Literally. This was probably one of the richest countries. And in the past 15, 16, 17, or 18 years, went downhill with this dictator, this illegitimate supposed leader, Maduro, this communist, whatever. And you know what I'm happy about, Dominic? Think about this. Iran, China, and Russia with the oil, okay? No more, baby. No more, okay? Because now it's a different ballgame. And all these terrorists that he was harboring, do you know there's an island called Margarita? Margarita, I was told, a stunning island. Venezuela went there, and they were chased out. And guess what? It became a training ground for people to live there. Hezbollah. You know Hezbollah? Talk about Mandami all upset because his pet people, Hezbollah, they're all under one umbrella. They're training over there. The cartel, they all had a great time, okay, at the expense of these poor people in Venezuela, at the expense of us in America with all the fentanyl, all the drugs and everything, killing everybody over here. It's just a win-win for us. It's a win-win for the Venezuelan as well. It's a win-win for the world, for the free world. And you know what? Puts Iran on notice too, okay? Because President Trump is not playing, okay? He's
not joking
playing
around, and that's
right.
that's what I respect. Can you imagine Biden in this situation? We'd still be waiting around with the $25 million ransom on Maduro's head. Nothing would get done. Can you imagine Biden in this situation, Judith?
Biden is to me, Biden's a crook and a thug. You know what else gets me? Did you see the reaction? It's amazing. You would think that, again, they would say, this is fantastic, this is great. No, you've got all these people here, the enemies within over here, and you look at the names that they are. These are all people that they're from China. This one guy's called Singham. The other guy has a wife that's called whatever she's head of Code Pink. You got like a bunch of people, and now with the social platforms, they all get together within 12 hours. You've got like everyone protesting, Mandara, free Mandara. You could just see the enemies that we have within. We've got to get rid of them. We've got to get rid of them. These are traitors. They're treasonous, and they're anti-American. They're anti-everything. And you can start with Ilhan Omar, by the way. You can start with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Judith, thank you for the wonderful call.
Thank
Let's
you.
now go to line 3, Sherman in Manhattan. Sherman, what's on your mind?
I want to say Judith was outstanding, extremely impressive. All her points were very impressive, and I'll do my best to follow up after her and say, I've said this before first, that this show is therapeutic. I love the fact that you allow us to call in and speak and talk, because many times there are not a lot of people that agree with you or I, even in your own family. So I want to say again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Right. Isn't it funny how that is?
Absolutely.
So
I'm just going to leave it at that. Absolutely.
I know what you're saying. Trust me on this. And so, I'm grateful. I'll get right to the point. I think that it's impressive that we have a president in the present moment that is authentically a real man, not a punk, not a coward. He's not like all these Democratic presidents. I understand all you idiots that support all these Democratic presidents, but they all are talking tough against Trump, but they don't talk tough against China. They don't talk tough against Hezbollah. They don't talk tough against all these countries that are out to get us, that want to drain us, that want to send all these people here illegally. They don't talk tough against any of that, but they go out of their way night and day to talk tough against Trump. So it's proof that they're frauds, that they're double agents, triple agents, that they're communists, they're socialists, they're Marxists. They have more anger and frustration and hatred towards President Trump than they do against people that are really out to get us.
And I couldn't have said it better. And I just don't get it, Sherman. Maybe you can help me with this. How does the Democrat Party win with the agenda and the platform that they're exercising? How do they win?
They win because people have been brainwashed with guilt. They're superficial. The Democrats are phonies. They want to be celebrities. So they try to look thin and they try to look attractive, and the women all try to look cute and, like AOC and all that. It's all superficial. So we have half the country, 3/4 of the country, a bunch of idiots. They're a bunch of vain, narcissistic, superficial people that they go by what they see. And so
you're saying to me like the Mamdani supporters.
Perfect example for that. So we're living in a superficial world more than ever before. And so people are really all about how you smile and how you look, and if you talk nice and cute, if you seem like you're harmless. And so that's what people go for. They go for all the superficial stuff. They don't have patience or time or discipline to dig deep. So they go for all the superficial stuff, and that's why they vote for all these people. They care about what the Democrats did 20, 30 years ago. They're not living in the present moment. Enough with gay rights and civil rights and all that. That is important. That's relevant. But let's get into the issues of crime, affordable housing, getting all these people, most of them out of the country that are here illegally. That's what we should be dealing with. Forget about all this stuff about gay people getting married. And listen, yes, they have a right to do that. But enough with all this transgender stuff and all that. They are a small minority in the country, and we're giving them too much attention. We should be focusing on the real big issues that affect the average person. Democrats don't do that.
No doubt about it, Sherman. I got to take a break, but King Mamdani Sire has already said, he's already flipped the script. Oh, you'll have free buses by the time I leave office. So 4 years from now. Absolute con. Sherman, thank you for the great call as always. Folks, I've got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to Alice in Ohio. Stay with us.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
It is now in less than 12 hours when Maduro and his wife will appear in federal court. Right now, he's being held overnight at the federal court in Brooklyn, and he will be brought to the Southern District of New York in Manhattan. I can just imagine what it's going to be like, the circus with the media, every reporter in town wanting to go to the Southern District of New York to cover this. Noon is when the Maduros will be in court. Let's go to Alice, line 4 in Ohio. Good morning, Alice. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. I am so proud of President Trump. We have a real man in the office. And
Absolutely.
One of his titles is Commander-in-Chief. He is within his rights to do what he did. I'm so disappointed in Senator Schumer, Bernie Sanders, and the whole lot of them saying he broke the law. They know that that's wrong. He did what he was supposed to do, and they claim that he was supposed to tell them, get their permission. No, he's not. Absolutely not. If they had even hinted to some of the Republicans in the House and the Senate, it would have been out there. I have one concern that I want to ask you about.
And then you would have had the soldiers' lives in danger going into that situation. But go ahead. Yes.
I'm concerned about the judges in the Southern District. I mean, you know more about that. That are they going to be fair and do their job?
Absolutely. What happens in a case like this, I'm sure for this judge tomorrow, the U.S. Marshals pick up immediate security, and I don't even know if I should say that much, but the Marshals pick up security for these judges, and I'm not worried about security for the judges. They will be well protected. It's going to be a circus in terms of the media. The one thing I can say about the Marshals, though, and when I would see these guys in the building at the Southern District, some of them look law enforcement, but many of them look like motorcycle riders, fully tattooed, but you can look at them that they are no joke. Very professional, but they don't play around. They don't play around. And I wouldn't worry at all, Alice, about security for the judge. The judge will be well protected. If they were able to do the trial for the drug lord, I forgot his name, it just escaped me. And I covered that a little bit. And then even in that case, Alice, my mind started playing tricks with me, because I said to myself, if I'm a drug lord and his wife would come out and I would, come at her with tough questions, and I would be like, whoa, and I was like, if I'm a drug lord, and I can't get out, what's the best example I can send, to the system? Spray every journalist here with bullets. These were things that would cross my mind, because these guys, with the snap of a finger, I forgot the name of the drug dealer. He's in the Supermax in Colorado now. Serving a number of life sentences. So, don't worry about the judge. The judge will be okay. Don't worry about the prosecutor. But believe me, Alice, when I tell you this, the prosecutors are going to bring it. They're going to find out. Maduro's going to find out, because these prosecutors, this is their opportunity to make their future political careers as governors, senators, and believe me, they're going to bring everything they have and the kitchen sink at Maduro and his wife. He's going to see American justice very, very soon. Alice, thank you for the wonderful call. Folks, we see all your other telephone calls coming up. The number to reach us right now, 800-848-9222. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So what's up, vacation guy?
I'm just trying to get back into the groove, as they say.
Oh, you're back into the groove.
And you're hanging out for 2 weeks and you do whatever you want. And what I did was literally nothing.
Except for when you were creeping to DMS's house.
Oh. I did see that text, Dominic. Something about that's what he told me, or some text that I saw.
I don't know.
I also happened to see you dancing with your granddaughter.
And she told me, wait, follow me. And then count it down. Kids are amazing,
She was directing
man.
you. That's right. She's a choreographer.
Directing me. And how's your dog doing?
Oh. I want to get too into it right now.
Is this good or bad?
It's I guess it's bad. It's funny. It's kind of bad. So my dog's about to get kicked out of daycare. Out of doggy daycare. She's being removed. They're dismissing her, as they said. They're giving her one more chance, but she's gonna be. I tell you, she's gonna get dismissed out of doggy daycare.
What did she do?
Apparently, my dog is a bully. And is bullying other dogs, barking in their faces until they cower into a corner.
Oh, boy.
And I was just told this a week ago or the other day, and they say they're dismissing her. And I go, wait a second. I had no idea any of this was going on. Nobody told me anything. I didn't know. I thought everything was great. So they said, all right, we'll let her back and we'll watch her. We'll try to control her and redirect her and do different things to get her to stop. But I could tell already it's not going to help.
So what's the next move? Should she be kicked out?
If she gets kicked out of daycare, she's going to have to go to a trainer, or she may go to another kind of daycare where it's smaller. Because the reasoning is, and if anybody knows about German Shepherds, it's a German Shepherd thing. So she is now a year old, 14 months old. She's like a teenager. And this is when they sort of grow into their own and they start to get their instincts of alert. And what I've been reading about German Shepherds is when they get to that age, everything's chaotic. It's chaos. So when there's too many dogs running around, she's trying to control the environment. So she's not barking out of aggression. She's barking to control what's going on around her. And they say that German Shepherds, they'll age out of daycare, meaning that it's just too much for them to take. So you need maybe one or two dogs. You need a different situation. So we'll see. She's going to go tomorrow, or later on today, I should say. And I get the report every day because I ask, I go, well, how'd she do today? They go, yeah, she spent more time in the crate than she did running around with the other dogs. And so what they told me was, what they do is at this daycare is that if dogs don't get along, if they know there's two dogs that have an issue with each other, and listen, they're animals, it's going to happen. They'll put them on what they call rotation. So while that one dog will be out playing, the other dog is in the crate. So then 15 minutes later, they take the dog out of the crate, put the other dog in the crate, and they do that. My dog is on rotation, not with one dog, not with two dogs, not with three dogs. My dog is on rotation with 8 different dogs.
Wow.
So I'm like,
yeah, maybe I shouldn't have asked. Well, we're glad you're back from vacation. We're glad you're back.
I'm happy to be back.
And to Catherine and her mom, her 96-year-old mom,
yes.
I keep saying happy birthday. And the reason why I keep doing it, Catherine, is because you deserve it. You're a rock star. Line 5, Jimmy in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Jimmy?
Oh, thank you for taking my call. I truly appreciate it. You know, what I was thinking is they mentioned that they have 25 to 50 generals in Venezuela that are billionaires. I know you have a big platform here. Bounce it off of Mr. Trump, our president, that we should seize all that money from all those generals and funnel it out to the people just to make sure they jumpstart, and I'm sure they'll all go shopping and keep that economy going there so it doesn't turn into an Iraq or what have you.
Not a bad idea, but let's see what happens. We don't know how many of those generals the Trump administration is going to flip. It's going to be interesting. But that's not a bad idea. And the people may take it amongst themselves if they get the opportunity to, which right now doesn't appear, to do exactly what you just said, Jimmy. Thank you for the telephone call. Go ahead.
Twofold. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That's a twofold, because you'll have them moving back to their home just to get back home and have money.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jimmy, for the call. Not a bad idea. Let's go to line 2. Chris in the Catskills. Chris, what's on your mind?
Morning. It's ironic because there were, in our jurisprudence system, you're entitled to the best representation you can get. So if civil rights attorney Ron Kuby, who's actually a very good talk radio host, would represent Maduro, he would be getting the best representation possible from a fellow communist. And,
okay, but wait. But Chris, but that's a subjective question when you say the best representation. And remember, I don't know what's going to happen in this case. The feds, I've seen them do this 1,000,001 times. They lock up almost all of your money except for what the judge deems is an amount acceptable for legal representation. So I don't know if that's going to happen with President Maduro, but you don't just get to walk in and hire any attorney you want. No. Not especially not when you're under indictment and in custody. But you're saying one communist representing another would be good. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, I think Ron would probably do it pro bono. Here's the thing. I wanted to touch on two things real quick. This morning, I was listening to This Week with Stephanopoulos, and I thought Marco Rubio gave very strong answers. And then Charles Schumer, the rationale he gave for what was wrong about this is that he said Trump used to criticize previous regimes for getting into endless wars, and what he has done is got us into an endless war. And I don't see it that way. This is a situation where the citizens actually are happy about this, the overwhelming majority of them. There's not a bunch of radical, fueled up, radical religious zealots that, are having, being suicide bombers everywhere like what exists in the Middle East and have all kinds of weapons everywhere. This is a situation that's manageable. And if we take charge of that dirty Venezuelan oil and perfect the refining processes to make it cleaner, our gasoline in this country next year could be down to $1.50 a gallon, and that's going to have quite an effect on our economy. I wanted to bring up something real quick. Democracy
as long as it's quick, it's got to be. You've been going on for a while,
Democracy
Chris.
Died. Kathy Hochul signed a bill into law which creates a means test if somebody
Go ahead.
belongs to a political party.
See, Chris, Chris, nobody knows what you're talking about. You're getting too political inside baseball, and I don't know why you love doing this. You were doing great, and then you get too inside baseball, and nobody knows what you're talking about. Thank you for the telephone call. No, you're done. You had a lot of time. Let's go to Frank in the Bronx, line 3. What's on your mind, Frank?
Hey, Dominic, how you doing?
I'm good. Go right ahead, please.
So, first of all, I love Trump. He's the best president we ever had.
Absolutely.
I want to try to understand. I understand taking out the drug boats, the boats that come, but how do they go into another country and arrest the president? I'm just trying to understand the legality of it. Well,
he was indicted, I believe, 5 years ago? That is the president you referred to. He's been poisoning the allegation America for years through the drug trade. It's rather easy to follow, Frank. What's so hard to understand?
Countries give us shit about, like, why other countries they don't support it? Like France is saying no good.
Wait, I didn't hear you at the beginning. You said what now?
Why are other countries not agreeing with us, like France?
Because France wouldn't be part of the indictment. Another country would not be part of an indictment in America. Yeah, he's indicted here in America.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, thanks for
Thank you so much for the call. Let's go to line 4, Robert in North Carolina. Robert, what's on your mind?
Hi, good morning, Dominic.
Good morning.
I think Kathy Hochul will have to remove Mondami for breach of fiduciary duty. He wants to create 24 or more new departments, fully staffed with all of these people.
Wait, Robert.
Okay.
I couldn't understand what you said. He wants to create 24 what?
New departments.
Oh, new departments. That's within his discretion. How is that? He's the mayor. How is that grounds to be removed?
Breach of fiduciary duty.
That's not. Wait. How is that a breach of his duties? How is that a breach?
How is he going to pay for it?
Hey, Robert, we got to think sometimes before we comment. How is that a breach of his duties?
He doesn't have the money to pay for it.
Well, that's on him. That's on him. That's on any mayor. He won the election. He can do within certain guidelines. He can do whatever he wants to do. Now, some of these agencies may require permission from Albany. That's somewhat of a different story. But and Robert, I don't know what politics are like in North Carolina, the local. Kathy Hochul, her hands are completely tied. She can't touch him. There's nothing she can do to him. She has the authority to remove him. She's going into an election year. There is no way in hell that Governor Hochul will do anything to Mom Donnie. Nothing. So I don't know where you're getting this from. It's an election year. She needs his base. If she doesn't have his base, she's going down. And you think she's going to do something?
I think she may have no choice.
Well, but if she takes him out, when you say she may have no choice, I don't know what you mean by that.
To avert financial disaster in the city and the state?
Unless he does something that's fiscally reckless, which he hasn't done thus far, there's nothing the governor can do. You can't just say, oh, I don't like him, remove him. I think he thinks he's a king. I think what he's doing is anti-Semitic. It's disgusting. It's despicable. But he knows how to cover his rear end. And until you find a way to expose that, there's nothing that you can do.
Well, we'll see about it. 5 deputy mayors? Does the city charter allow that?
Yeah, I think Eric Adams had 4 or 5. You're barking up the wrong tree, Robert. You got it all wrong. But thank you for the call. He can do whatever he wants to do. He is the mayor. He reports to the people, but not for another 4 years. And on that note, we're going to take a break. Thank you, Robert, for the call. The number to reach me right now, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And the last caller brought up King Mamdani, the socialist mayor of New York City, sire, the king. And already, King Mamdani is backing away of his comment of free buses. He's now saying that by the time he leaves office, there'll be free buses. The con is just, the bait and switch is just starting. To all of you naive people that voted for him and you let the opposition vote be split, you ain't seen nothing yet. So at his inauguration, you may recall that student from Columbia University that the feds took, pro-Palestinian cause and so on, agitator. And the feds had him in custody for a couple of months, finally released. He was at Mamdani's inauguration. And to be inside the gate of City Hall, you have to have a pass to be there. So Mamdani wanted him there. Yet another thumb in the eyes of you and I. And here's what that former Columbia student had to say.
It just means, New York is a very diverse city. I don't think, the religion has to do anything of it, but, just to say that, Muslim New Yorkers have a role to play in this country, a positive role to play in this city. And that, all these Islamophobia attacks against him did not succeed because New Yorkers actually saw what's in Tehran. They saw the potential of a person who cares about everyone, who cares about affordability for everyone, regardless of who they are.
And so you couldn't get in the section where he was at unless you were invited. King Mamdani wanted him there. Let's go to line 4. Charlie in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Charlie?
Yeah, Dominic, I'll make it quick. The statement that he made about whites owning houses, or property, is enough okay, to bring them up on charges. It goes against the Constitution of the state
No, that's
and the
not
Constitution
enough.
of
That's
the
not
United
enough
States.
to bring him up on charges. That's not enough. No,
Well,
it's not.
It's not enough.
It's
All
not.
right?
He's
He
got to do
mentioned
something.
white.
Go ahead.
That's a racist comment.
Well, one, did he actually say it or did he tweet it?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You see, slippery politicians, unless you have him on tape saying it, and even when you have politicians on tape saying it, they say that tape was doctored. I didn't say that. Blah, blah, blah. You got to have something much better.
I'll hear comments off the air, but Dominic, he's the mayor of all the people.
Right.
He can't.
Right. No. But Charlie, you got it wrong. The people voted for him. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
The people voted for
Ignorant
him.
people.
Now, the ignorant people voted for him, but that's not why he's the mayor.
I won't waste your time. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, Charlie. The reason why he's a mayor is because of the ego of one of the candidates that wouldn't drop out, and now the rest of us are stuck with this for the next 4 years. We could have had Cuomo as the mayor. I know many of you don't like Cuomo. I know warts and all, but he's still a whole lot better than King Donnie. Because we have Sire in office now. He's a king. Let's go to line 3. Beth, Staten Island. Beth, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I'm a first-time caller.
Wonderful.
Yes, I love you. But a little levity for the end of the evening. I want to commiserate with Blaze. My sister's dog, Poe, who was a lovely dog, not aggressive, was also expelled from doggy care.
Matt Blaze, your response?
He had 3 warnings. 3 warnings. Exactly what your dog did. He's not aggressive, but the chaos. It was the chaos that he didn't like. And I'll tell you, my sister, the last time he was there, she got a call. She had to come and get him. He had his face pressed up against the window like he had been in Rikers Island for 10 years.
Apparently, mine just likes to bark in other dogs' faces and control what's going on in the room. There's there's 15 dogs in the room, so
exactly. But I felt so bad because he's a good dog. He doesn't really bark at people, but he just couldn't stand the chaos. So I'm commiserating with you.
So we have to find out tomorrow, Beth, if Matt Blaze's dog has been kicked out of Daddy Daycare.
Oh, doggy daycare. We'll
doggy
see.
Daycare, Daddy Daycare.
We'll see by the end of the week because she's going to go at least in the next couple of days. So we'll see by the end of the week.
Well, welcome home, and I'm sorry to hear about the dog. Beth, thank you for the great call. To those of you on hold, sorry we can't get to your calls. I'm back 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?